most alluring fragrances for women. So you want to turn heads, you want to get more attention with your fragrances. I have a select few options that I think do just that. And as always, everything I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. Now, I'm going to start with one that I think just works always, all around, for everything, which is Gentle Fluidity. So this is the silver one. There's gold and silver. I haven't tried gold. This is silver. So the thing about this, super fresh, super clean. It's unisex. You can definitely tell because it's all natural notes. Juniper berries, you just got some woodsy notes. Very crisp, very fresh. Kind of clean laundry, fresh breeze sort of thing. Now, because it is so icy cold, it is best for the summer, or just hot weather in general. But it's still versatile enough to be worn for, I would say, except midwinter when it's already pretty cold. You don't want to smell cold as well. But besides that, all around winter here, you could easily wear this casual situations, formal situations, going to work, going to get the groceries. You can't go wrong with this. It's just a very natural smelling fragrance, like kind of like you're walking through the woods, you know, you got that natural smell. So unless you hate the smell of the woods, you'll probably like this. Now, longevity, not great, mainly because it is a light fragrance. You can't expect much from such a light fragrance. So longevity, I would say 4 hours, maybe 5, but it's very intimate by then. So you will have to reapply it, you know, if you plan on wearing it all day. But besides that, the smell alone is just really, really nice. Very put together, solid, reliable fragrance. Now, if you want something a little bit more, you know, still clean, but also more on the sweeter side, then I would say Amouage Jubilation 25 for women. There's also a men's version. This is the women's version. So the thing about this is that it's very sophisticated. It is very much kind of in the classic zone, a little bit similar to Chanel No. 5, but more modern. Came out in 2007. Kind of springtime-esque. It has some wood notes. It has some florals mixed with more ambery types of notes, like myrrh and amber itself. But in general, very, very nicely balanced. The florals are nice and sweet, mixed with the amber, which grounds it, obviously, and gives it more of an earthy, slightly musky tone. It's very, very pleasant and very unique. There's very few fragrances that are remotely similar to Jubilation 25. So definitely if you want something very unique and also has good performance, then I would say Jubilation 25 is a really good option. Now, definitely, I would say moderate longevity on that one, probably about 7-ish hours, nothing crazy, but it's more of a subtle, smooth type of fragrance, but it does stick around, which is really nice. And also one of those versatile fragrances where you could pretty much wear it all the time, which is also nice. Now, going for something more on the heavy side, more on the sweeter side, I would say Red Tobacco from Montserrat here. So this is a really great tobacco note for women because a lot of times tobacco fragrances are marketed towards men. They're meant to be really heavy, earthy, harsh, rustic, you know. This is actually unisex, I believe. This does tobacco in a very unisex way. It blends it with a pretty sweet note of vanilla, so it's actually a bit more feminine leaning, I would say. But it's very strong without being too crazy or rustic or rugged. It's the vanilla note is almost a little bit like a candy vanilla note, but then it's grounded with the tobacco, so it's not too crazy. Really nicely balanced, and it's actually very, very strong for this type of fragrance. It really sticks around. I would say 8 hours minimum on this one. It's very, very pleasant to smell as well. Whenever I put this on, and I wear this pretty often, even though it's just a small sample, I try to wear it as often as possible, just because it smells really good. Like whenever I smell it, my mood is boosted. But now it is pretty warm, kind of best for colder weather. I would say mid-summer, it would be too much to wear. red tobacco and midsummer, but other than that, it's pretty versatile. Definitely, again, one of those ones where you could do either formal or casual with this type of fragrance. Now, moving on to something a little bit lighter, maybe you're not into tobacco and, you know, more of this heavy type of fragrance, then I would say something that's very, very natural is Xerjoff Iris. This is obviously iris centered fragrance. So there are other notes in this, but as you can expect, you're pretty much just going to get the iris out of this, which I don't mind. I really like the scent of iris. I think it's a very, very attractive scent. It seems to be becoming more popular in fragrances these days. You could find it in certain Dior Hommes and you know, this obviously. Guerlain has some iris fragrances as well, but in general, this is just a nice, simple fragrance. If you're looking for just a simple, light, floral option, this will do it, especially if you enjoy iris. And I don't see how anyone could dislike iris just because it's such an agreeable note. It's sweet, but also crisp and fresh, a little bit cold even. It's just very pleasant, very, very smooth, feminine, sophisticated, classic, classy. You know, it has all the benefits. So you can't really go wrong with this, except, again, the problem with the longevity. Mainly because it's a light floral fragrance, you can't expect it to last too long. I would say about 4 hours, which isn't great, but it is pretty standard for this type of fragrance. So do keep that in mind. If you do plan on wearing this, then you will probably have to reapply it halfway through the day. But the smell alone is very, very pleasant. So as long as you don't, you know, mind the longevity issue, you don't mind reapplying it, you're good to go with Xerjoff Iris. Now, the last one that I have is pretty classic. This is Les Monts from Coty, which came out in the 1920s, but I'm bringing it up because it is pretty timeless. It's primarily a floral aldehyde fragrance. Another one that's actually kind of similar to Chanel No. 5, but I would say smoother than Chanel No. 5. It doesn't have the civet note, or it's not quite as animalistic. It's very powdery. Very powdery, very fresh, got the florals, got the aldehydes. Very, very likable, inoffensive fragrance. This is the fragrance that you can wear if you want to make sure everyone around you is happy with how you smell, because this is just a friendly, agreeable, likable fragrance. And like I said before, it's powdery. It dries down to a nice powderiness, which is very nice, very feminine, clean, classic. It has all the benefits. Now, the downside, again, longevity. Now, in comparison to Chanel No. 5, which it is pretty similar to, Chanel No. 5 definitely lasts a lot longer. This is probably more of a 4-hour fragrance. But, good news, this is like $15 instead of $90, so you could just easily reapply it and you get the whole bottle for a very, very affordable price. So, reapplying it doesn't really matter because it's just affordable. But, besides that, it smells really good, very sophisticated, classic option. And it's pretty unique because most people don't know about it. But that is pretty much my list for just alluring fragrances for women. So hopefully you found this video helpful. And if you did, of course, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.